think I'm good to go.
I believe so.
Okay. So this is welcome to Reverse Boss Order. This is going to be the same run that I did at AGDQ this last winter.
The sequel.
The sequel. So hopefully we'll see how it goes. Reverse Boss Order, pretty rough sometimes. So hopefully the best will happen out of it. I'm gonna count myself down here with the timer too. So I gotta start two things at once. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Says the category name might suggest reverse boss order is the reverse intended boss order of the game. Normally when you casually play through the game, you're expected to kill bosses in the order of Kraid, Phantoon, Draygon, and Ridley. Well, in reverse boss order, we decide to pretty much do the opposite, the reverse. So we'll be killing Ridley first as one of our major bosses.
Right, it's fighting the major bosses in reverse order before Torian without major glitches. It involves many instances of swiftly maneuvering through heated rooms without suits for protection, which is usually known in the community as hell running, climbing frozen enemies to reach areas otherwise humanly inaccessible underwater, being able to jump an infinite amount of times underwater with grapple beam, and more. There's many routes and variations of said routes that exist for RBO. Usually the routes dependent on which items the player is comfortable skipping.
Alright, well the worst part of the run's over with. I make it a point to refuse to practice series, and unfortunately I usually end up with garbage series times because of it, but pretty much anytime I start practicing anything, I start on the ship. I don't start at series.
So for this marathon run, I believe Stray is going to visit Norfair twice. The first time is mostly to collect major items, basically everything except Ice Beam, which he'll grab at the end of the second visit, and the second time is to take care of the first major boss of the run once he's collected plenty of items. The reason for 2 visits instead of 1 is that grabbing the major items from Norfair allows him to revisit Brinstar and collect more items than he would normally be able to, such as the Criteria super missiles and the energy tank behind Charge Beam, before he has to face off against Ridley. It does cause the first Norfair trip to be more tense health-wise than if Norfair was completed in one go, but it makes lower Norfair, which is part of the second trip, less tense, especially the Ridley fight. Ridley being the main roadblock of this category, anything that makes him easier is probably worth considering in a marathon run.
Yeah, I think this is about as safe as this run can get, and still skipping early Meridia.
And speaking of route, with the exception of the reserve tank pickup, this route in particular will resemble any percent for about the first 9 minutes.
I don't know why I jumped there. I honestly find RBO a pretty fun category. Like, compared to any percent, I guess the reason I find RBO more attractive is, like, the challenge in RBO is a lot more obvious, and so when I die in RBO, it's not as much of a disappointment as saying dying in any percent.
Somebody in chat was asking if GT is left alone. He's actually not. I'm not sure if there's been anybody doing RBO with attempts of a route that does not involve Golden Torizo. Maybe Stray's tried before.
I've practiced it, trying a little bit, just looking into seeing how ridiculous it would be, and it's pretty ridiculous. You could pick up Screw Attack and still skip GT, but if you're picking up Screw Attack, you might as well pick up those supers at that point. It's really the only reason that you go to GT is for those super missiles.
Right.
I got hit. It's okay though. Nice RNG.
So yeah, the only mini-boss you definitely will not see in this category is Spore Spawn.
Poor Spore Spawn. So I'm going through here, I kind of want to conserve health. The less health I use, the better, because it's just that much I have to farm back later when I try to refill my reserve tank.
Fuzda mentioning that you can afford one key hunter hit on the way out from Lower Norfair. I guess he means if you skip Screw Attack, so I guess that's an indication of how tight things are without it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's an early jump, but we still got it.
Yep, speaking of tight.
Oh, thank you for the health. I could opt to skip these missiles until later, but I decided to pick them up now because it makes my life a little bit easier going to just going through Norfair. I don't have to worry about my missile drop so much.
Another thing you could have skipped was Charge Beam, but that usually entails a more difficult route entirely.
Yeah, it's...
Well, delayed, rather.
Yeah, I don't... Yeah, because if I were doing a single Norfair visit, I probably would skip Charge.
It's pretty neat that very specific routes can do such a thing, such as choose to delay an item like that. And not just like a missile pack or something.
So I'm almost forgetting which way the door is. See if I can get this jump the first try. Yeah. I choose here to farm health because I find you get more consistent large health drops from these guys. I'm looking for filling up my reserves. 4, and that's 5.
Yeah, usually that jump you saw Stray do cleanly is in other guess say normal play, a complete accident. I know I made the mistake of entering that tube when I meant to just mock ball into the elevator room.
Even in a speed run, I've somehow managed to jump cleanly into that hole before. It's annoying because you're usually going pretty fast, so you just have to wait for yourself to fall all the way back down.
So as mentioned earlier, this first visit is primarily for collecting major items, such as boots, speed, wave, and grapple, so that means Crocomire will be handled on this pass as well, and you'll of course see a number of hell runs, some more treacherous than others.
We got our first one coming up here. Want to focus for her? Yeah, I got hit by the squeak, so I'm gonna pop my reserves. Pretty good though.
Yeah. Outside of, I think, colliding with Rising Tide door and that squeaked, which you can't do that much about, that was quite clean. Health definitely reflects that.
Yep.
And he's made it to the well safely. Stray wants basically full health before he runs to speed and back. If he's fortunate and fast enough, he can actually make it back to the well and grab energy drops before his reserve tanks would trigger. It's basically tight whether or not you make it in just the 299 that you have of main energy.
Let's see if I keep blue stew. Alright. So I learned how to keep blue suit after you start speed skating a while back. You basically, as long as when you start speed skating, you just let go of the run button, and as long as you don't hold the run button again, you won't lose blue suit.
That's pretty smart. Stray got to keep his reserves after that, so that saves a little bit of time.
And here I'm going to manually pop reserves because normally reserves will trigger in the next room in single chamber at usually inopportune times. So I just opt to get all my health's worth and trigger it here.
Right, the other thing about reserves triggering is that reserves triggering heat actually, let's say a reserve tank with 100 energy triggers and heat, you actually get like 23 less energy out of it than you normally would. Ooh,
It's a little iffy, but it's okay, yeah.
Somewhere around there, like the less energy you get because the heat is still ticking during the reserve tank trigger. Same thing with elevators, which will play a part later.
Play it safe here. I could have made it with that health, but I didn't want to tempt fate.
Right. This recharge station is in a perhaps the most fortunate location it could be in.
Right.
So, Crocomire does not have what you may consider a traditional health bar. Instead, he moves backwards an amount that corresponds to the strength of the weaponry used against him. And after he's done stepping backwards, he can either choose to rush forward or spit fireballs as drop items, and it's preferred that he never stops to spit fireballs because it delays his mouth from opening for a few seconds each time.
Couldn't seem to get that last charge shot off on him, so I just spammed missiles.
Yeah, speed skating is the thing that happens when you take heat damage with speed. Somebody in chat was asking about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's really weird how that works. Ah! Bonk.
Strays are awarded the grapple beam for taking out Crocomire, and it's one of the most, if not the most useful tool in a reverse boss order run. You'll see why throughout the run. It can be thought of kind of as a Swiss Army knife of Super Metroid items. Besides its normal function of grappling onto valid blocks and enemies, it can open doors, kill weak or aquatic foes, collect item drops, doesn't have a weapon cooldown, and a few other things you may see later.
Pretty cool beam. Grapple's a lot of fun. There's a lot of things you can do with it. I wanted to farm there until my reserves were full. Nice shot. I don't know why I do that, but sometimes in reaching over to hit items, item cancel, I accidentally hit start. Hello? Okay. Super gates are hard to hit.
It's an interesting sequence of events for sure.
Yeah.
Actually, wasn't sure if the pause would still happen, but fanfare apparently does not interrupt that, like door transitions. So now Stray is going to backtrack through the latter half of Brinstar to begin his minor upgrade collecting spree.
Yeah. Spark too soon on that.
It's unfortunately a easy mistake. I actually think I see more people miss that from being too early than actually get it.
This is the bonk run. We're going bonkers. Let's see if I can get this jump here. No! For some reason, that jump's really kind of wonky to get. But this speedball would be really nice if I could get this. Alright.
Nice.
Thank you for the high hop.
Great tank grab.
Thank you.
So, there's many quirks with elevators in this game, and one of the positive ones is that they pause. Sorry about that. They pause the shine spark timer, so Stray can maintain a charge to spark through the pit room.
Sometimes you grab these supers when you shine spark like that, other times you go right over them. I guess it just depends on, that's bad. It depends how you start the shine spark.
Yeah, I always thought it was because, your speed, I think your speed fluctuates by certain subpixel amounts during shine spark, and I always thought maybe that had something to do with it, like it was some sort of subpixel thing, or like where you started it specifically.
Kind of intentionally picking up health here, trying to avoid. I hit the damage from the spikes there, and I'm really kind of right now on tight ammo management for the shine spark coming up, or tight health management rather. See if we get this correctly. Took a little too much damage.
Yeah, you ideally want around 220, I believe. Unless you start your spark further ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna start further ahead. I'm gonna see if we can still make it. Should be okay. Or we can just not even activate the shine spark. That's cool too. I'm just gonna refill the ship. It's not worth trying to struggle through Gauntlet.
Are you still gonna go through?
Yeah, I'm still gonna go through.
Okay. It's like, is he just deciding not to go through Gauntlet?
There we go. Alright, we're back on track.
So as some or maybe most of you have probably seen before, if not at an early part in this marathon, Stray can, through the power of Wave Beam, open the door on the other side by hitting, I believe, a copy of the door in the out of bounds. It's basically positioned right underneath that power bomb room's door, and with the right setup you can effectively open it, which also opens the main door itself, so you can shine spark right through. And I'm sure Return Eyes will probably correct me if something was wrong with that explanation. I mean that in a nice way.
So when I'm collecting missiles in this run, I'm being very specific about the number of missiles I have, mostly for Golden Torizo fight.
Are you collecting more than 30?
No, I'm
beforehand?
collecting exactly 30.
Okay.
There's a really cool jump you can get here. If you jump in the last possible frame before the gap, you can actually, if you're going the right speed, you can actually grab those supers with a wall jump check. But I think it's frame perfect or close to frame perfect.
Yeah, Crocomire's the big one, mock drums, and you probably knew that but just weren't thinking about it. He's asking about if there's any other out-of-bounds doors that can be triggered with Wave Beam.
Yeah. That one requires Wave and Spazer.
Stray being mindful of that gap because it is made of speed blocks.
Guy loves to avoid my shots. No, that's not how that works. Well, that's annoying. I don't think I've done that before, actually. I don't think I've gotten up there, then fallen back down.
Yeah, I've definitely not seen that before.
Well, I did that, but whatever. Man, JRP throwing the shots at me.
He is right, though. Being good means you make no mistakes. So what you just saw was the primary reason why Spore Spawn is not bothered with in this category. Those supers are normally a reward for defeating him, but through some creative use of how the screen works in this game, you can completely skip him.
Yeah, I had a visual cue for where I fired that super at. There's a shorter setup. That's the one I'm best at, so I use that all the time. And this tank is not really needed at all, but this is more of a safety strat than anything. I'm not going to use a power bomb up here, because otherwise I have to farm the beat him alley twice. Hit the ledge, dude. Bonking on all the things today. Ah, dang.
Just getting them out of the way now. Better now than lower Norfair.
That's very true. That's very true. Alright, now the best hill run is starting.
Stray's stopping here once again, mostly to refill ammo before he enters Lower Norfair. To enter Lower Norfair, he'll be performing a lava dive similar to that of GT Classic. He's going to disable Speed Booster beforehand because otherwise his speed would be neutered when he enters the lava. And he does it when he takes this energy recharge station because the pause detaches Samus from the recharge station, lets him get closer to the door before the energy message appears. Nice.
All right.
So Stray pauses to enable Speed Booster there on the elevator because it has a chance to save 48 frames or 0.8 seconds because Samus will not move off the screen before transitioning. It's actually not guaranteed in RBO because depending on when Samus takes heat damage, it may cause her to still move off the screen despite having paused. Kind of like that speed skate thing with while holding run. It just sometimes you may just not have a thing work.
There we go.
Fourth try, not bad. So similar to GT Classic again, Stray had the green gate glitch to access Screw Attack, as well as the recharge station, Golden Torizo Super Missile Pack, and the green gate room itself also acts like a Super Missile refill station, as the Rippers have a near 100% chance of dropping them. Stray will, of course, be abusing the position in front of Golden Torizo's need to remain safe throughout the fight. GT takes double damage from supers, and you can farm more from his eggs. What was being alluded to earlier is this interesting detail that because Stray has a maximum of 30 missiles at this point, Golden Torizo will actually not use his claw laser attack at all and will only spit eggs. This is because Golden Torizo is scripted to spit eggs if Samus's missile count is below 32, if I remember correctly.
So I killed Golden Torizo a little earlier than I wanted to there. And not really a big deal, it's just going to cost me some time farming supers. The reason I shot a lot of shots there because I'm watching for when Golden Torizo flashes because I finally figured out that there are times when Golden Torizo will not get hit by my supers, and it has to do with his invulnerability frames and him coming down at the same time. And so a way to figure out if that happens is I just watch for if Golden Torizo flashes when I fire a super, or doesn't flash when I fire a super. So I realize now that I miscalculated the number of shots. For some reason in my mind I had 6 shots to one super when really it's 4. So I killed him early, but it's not a big deal. I'm gonna refill. We'll head back out.
So in case you're wondering why Stray just powerbombed the ceiling despite having screw attack, it's basically not feasible without space jump because although you can break away the first layer of the ceiling and can wall jump from where that layer was, screw attack will not activate in time from that position to break away the second layer, so you basically can't break away the ceiling fully with just screw attack and wall jumps. Either need space jump alongside it or should powerbomb instead. I believe that's the case. Somebody will correct me obviously if I'm wrong.
I heard a story once about how somebody managed to do it, but I've never actually seen it myself.
Yeah, maybe there's a frame or something, but... So the fire fleas there can be used to prevent spike damage. Spikes dealing 60 damage in this part of the game is no joke, and is the main reason you won't see Stray go for any KOs in Wasteland. It's simply better to wait and conserve that energy. Thank you, Fuzda and ED.
Those sparks were a little far forward, but they still killed the pirates. That's okay though.
Yeah, I just want to mention that there's a lot of stuff that can probably be explained by me during this run, but it's likely that the Wikipedia explains things way better than I'm going to. So just, you know, if you want to check that out, I definitely recommend reading wiki entries on this stuff. So Stray was waiting there for an opportune time to Crystal Flash because, as you can see, if the Zebos, the drops from the Zebos are on screen, they won't actually respawn until they're gone and picked up. Wow, that was quite clean.
It was a clean fight, yep. Happy with that.
So I meant to mention that Stray wanted as much ammo, primarily supers, as he could get before his energy count forced him to stop farming and take care of Ridley. And he wanted to at least be above 6 energy tanks before entering to have a decent or better chance at survival. And obviously, he survived quite well. So Stray took care of the primary run-ender, but he's not out of the fiery woods of Norfair just yet. Stray will want enough ammo to perform a crystal flash as he makes his escape. The most difficult amount of ammo to acquire is usually missiles, but he made sure to keep plenty around instead of using them on Ridley.
Yeah. Also have just enough power bombs to get by.
Screw attack continuing to show its usefulness. Did you almost PB those?
Almost. I was thinking about it.
Yeah, I was afraid I might have distracted you or something by talking.
Wait for this one. Here's a fun fact is, you notice I have 0 PBs, but I still have PBs selected. I could actually still perform an X Factor with this, even though it will not underflow my ammo, unfortunately.
That is true. He cannot actually lay a PB, but he can indeed X Factor, and it'll just not consume anything. But you definitely do not want X Factor in that room.
Also, just now realizing I probably should have picked up a PB from the,
I should definitely be reminding you of these things.
what are those things? Alcoons. Should have picked up one. Not a big deal, just a little bit. Just take the long way around. These guys are being stingy. Usually go for at least 15, 16 supers there. Nice. See if I can do it again. No, I'm too far away from the door. Alright, this is the last farm. Nope, 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 nope. Don't forget the ice cream.
You can forget a power bomb, but this is a bit more important.
Yep.
Although it would have been pretty amazing to see you get to Meridia and realize,
I mean, it's happened. Usually feel pretty sheepish when I get there.
So by jumping before the tube breaks, an effect similar to a gravitation jump occurs where Samus's vertical momentum is preserved through the water, allowing access to Main Street above. Main Street is all about making use of frozen enemies and sometimes crouch jumps to travel directly up to the top of the room. Samus being crouched before jumping causes her to start her jump 8 pixels higher than normal, and it's sometimes necessary to grab on the platforms or enemies above.
Don't go around. Don't do it. Alright. Losing a little bit of time here, but that's okay. It's not like we're in a hurry or anything. It's not like this is a speed run or anything.
In this room known as Aqueduct, you'll see the technique known as infinite grapple jumping put to use. To put it simply, if you sling Samus morph and unmorph quickly enough, there's a period of frames afterward where actions such as running and jumping in midair are possible, and you can chain these jumps infinitely if you morph, unmorph, jump, and repeat in that order appropriately. It's actually not required in Aqueduct. You can use one of the snails to climb up instead, but that's quite a bit slower and perhaps less interesting. Since contact with Botchwoon deals well over a tank of energy and damage here, and can deal more depending on the circumstances, the standard strat is just to be safe and camp the left wall while trying to pop him with supers. He's almost completely avoidable when next to the left wall.
No. Farmed about 16 supers or so.
Should I get the Draygon explanation out of the way now, you think?
Sure.
Okay, just want to see if you needed to focus, so I'll do that. So, during the Draygon fight, you're going to see Stray lower his health in order to perform a Crystal Flash, because when a Crystal Flash is interrupted, in this case it'll be by Draygon grabbing Samus, it gifts the player with a Shine Spark suit, which is basically like having one free on-demand Shine Spark. He'll then try to position Samus so that after he activates the Shine Spark and Draygon grabs onto Samus again, he can grapple onto a turret to electrocute Draygon to death, and Draygon interrupting the Shine Spark in this manner causes a blue suit to occur, which in this situation is basically the same thing as Shine Spark suit, except you have to crouch to have the Shine Spark be active. And the blue suit is then used to escape Draygon's entry chamber, as escape is not humanly possible otherwise on this version of the game with items Stray has. So we're gonna see how he executes that. Well, this run has just been full of clean fights.
Yeah, Fuzda. I've been doing it. I did it at AGDQ as well.
The reason why Stray bothers to obtain blue suit here is because it makes grapple jumping to leave Draygon's room a bit safer. It's much easier to accidentally activate the Shine Spark from the Shine Spark suit when performing those jumps than it is to activate from blue suit. Someone is asking why you didn't kill Draygon with Shine Spark, which I could probably explain, but I don't know if you want to explain it.
The way I did it is faster. I think Fuzda was the one who came up with that method. I know he's the one that I learned it from anyway.
It's also chain damage too, I think.
Yeah, chain damage is a very scary thing in this game. Especially with RBO, because every time that Draygon's dealing damage to you, you take 160 damage, and that's nothing to laugh at.
I think chain's also more common suitless, but I could be mistaken.
Pick up Plasma Beam. Hello? Run is starting to wind to a close here. Just got 2 more bosses to go kill.
Stray's taking the Forgotten Highway out. This category is one of the few where taking the Forgotten Highway is confirmed to be quicker than, say, the route GT Classic takes. Leads to the back of the Rick ship as opposed to the front.
Ugh. Well, I'm glad I waited until I was after out of Meridian Norfair to start bonking again.
It's like part of you knows when it's time to bonk and when it's not time.
Yeah. So, unlike GT Classic, fortunately we won't be able to one-round Phantoon. Us humans have not perfected the art of the one-round Doppler yet. But we still can get the two-round pretty easily.
Yeah, it's pretty similar, but because of no X-Stray, Stray has to hit Phantoon with a total of 7 missiles and 2 charge shots, so he'll try to hit Phantoon with 2 when he opens his eye, 2 more after he starts moving, and then the charge shot in each round. That's what I'll be aiming to do to 2-round.
Slow.
Can't always have that AGDQ look.
Yeah. We can't forget about Kraid.
Right. Kraid's probably what people forget about the most in doing this category, especially if you're used to something like GT Classic.
He's very forgettable. Poor Kraid. Not as forgettable as Spore Spawn, though.
Agreed.
Going fast enough for that strat? Spore Spawn is a DLC boss. Get it now for $5.99. Gravity Suit takes way too long to get, and I'm past the point of really needing it, so we just skip it entirely.
Yeah, if I had to guess, it probably takes like a minute and a half to get in this category, at least. Various suits probably closer to like 20 seconds, I would think, but there's just not any use for them once you have the ability to obtain them in this run.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mock, Red Beam from Mother Brain will deal 400 if it hits, and as most people are aware, it can strike multiple times depending on how it connects, so Stray could actually be potentially one shot from one Red Beam, depending on how it hits Samus, if it hits him. It'd be extremely unlikely, but it's like a thing that could happen.
Yeah.
Stray doesn't have gravity suit, so heading back to statues through part of Meridia isn't viable, so he basically has two choices: to either go all the way up Red Tower and take the Red Brinstar elevator and sprint directly left, or he can choose to go back through Green Brinstar, and he's opting to go through Red Brinstar instead. I'm not sure if you have anything to comment on regarding the routes. I know both seem very close in terms of speed, but I'm not sure which edges out the other.
They're both really close. I take this way because it's easier to screw up, lose time. It's easier to lose time going through the Green Hills than it is Red Tower.
Yeah, I figured, because TASs have always seemed to use Green Brinstar, although it might have been due to game time, or like you said, I figured it was probably something like that, where people are just more familiar with these criteria rooms, and they are a bit more linear. Thanks, Fusta. Says it's faster to go up by about 2 seconds according to his test.
Yeah, that's right.
Torian doesn't change too much in RBO compared to what you may have seen in GT Classic. The only two things worth pointing out, really, are that Stray won't want to move in the acid of the first Metroid room too much, and Mother Brain is slightly scarier since everything does 4 times the amount of damage people are used to seeing, except for Rainbow, which will drain 600 energy. Everything else is more or less what you've probably seen already. Nice drop manipulation in that last room.
Gotta wait those couple frames there.
I'm glad you recognized it was kind of slinging
Yeah.
back.
Jump rope was not what it needed to be.
Stray pulling off the screw attack variant of the ice zeb skip. There's two different methods of skipping the Zebetite with ice beam and screw attack equipped, but down backing is the most reliable of the two. That should be fun. Hopefully. Hopefully. I believe so too, but we'll see.
Alright. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, so you notice how much damage Mother Brain does just from a single hit of contact, and if Stray's not careful, he could actually get clipped twice, which, if it wouldn't kill him, it would probably make stand-up not possible because his health would be too low. So he wanted to be careful in that he could still stand up. So here you'll see when Mother Brain turns her grayest from this cutscene is when she gains her health for her third phase. 36,000, and so that's equivalent to 40 charge shots of this beam. So you usually see people get some amount around like 35 during stand-up.
We're not doing Behemoth Spark. I can't do it. It's just impossible. Every time I try to do it, I just get in trouble. Now's the run. 1:10:04 is actually the best I've ever done with this route.
Yeah, that was definitely outstanding. Like, nothing comes to mind as going poorly. Like, it really felt like everything just sort of went right.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that. For reference, that's 2 minutes off of the world record, which uses a different route than this one. Much more, picks up less items, different routing.
This is pretty close to equivalent in speed, factoring in the route difference. I mean, this run compared to your record, that's all.
Yeah. Alright, well, thank you guys for watching my run of Reverse Boss Order. I'm glad it went very well. So, Reverse Boss Order can kind of swing either way sometimes. And thank you, Overfiend, for commentating for me. You'll be sticking around for a lot more runs.
No problem. Yeah, we got Lupus and Ice by JD coming up. I think Fuza, maybe JD will have the most to say. But I might say a word or two.
Alright guys, stay tuned. Again, if you're just tuning in and you don't know what this marathon is all about, the Oceanfly Marathon was put together to help raise money for one of our top tier European speedrunners for Super Metroid to come race at SGDQ this summer. His name is Behemoth, if you've ever heard of him. Nonetheless, we have already met our donation goal. If you look down there in the bottom right, you see we've exceeded it by a little bit. But if you still do feel to donate, just let you know that all your money that you do donate after the goal will go to the charity for SGDQ. But stay tuned, we're going to start setting up for low percent ice, and in the meantime, take a break, get up, get a drink, get a snack, whatever you need to keep enjoying the marathon. We'll be back shortly, so stay tuned.